Professional wrestling is something that I've loved and admired since I was a child. The costumes, the drama, and the non-stop action like this.
Jeff Hardy said he was going to steal WrestleMania. You gotta be kidding me!
So I've decided to come down to CPW, known as Coventry Pro Wrestling, to speak to Phil Richards, a man who is inspired by legends of the past like Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and Triple H, to tell me how the promotion started and how his wrestling career in CPW has gone so far.
I'm the promoter of CPW, the creator, and I guess the driving force of CPW, along with my team. So yeah, that's me.
What inspired you to get into professional wrestling?
What inspired me was the love of wrestling. I think a lot of people who are in the wrestling business all started out like yourself as a fan, from the age of probably 4 or 5, collecting the wrestling figures, putting together. In fact, when I was younger, I used to put together shows with my little brother's friends. So I used to create pay-per-views, as we called them back then, with them. I've been to SummerSlam at Wembley, a lot of shows in England. So it come to a time as a business person, it's like someone said to me, I was talking to them about creating a wrestling company, and they said to me, "You could never do it." So it was from that moment on. 6 months later, CPW was created.
So who were your main influences when you were growing up?
It goes back to the Road Warriors, Ric Flair, back in the early 80s, obviously Hogan, Andre, them moments, Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man was my favourite from that era growing up, certainly my favourite, then that kind of morphed into my favourites being Triple H. But I admire the craft from all aspects, whether it be a big man, small man. If they're a good storyteller, they have my eye. So, the good storytellers is who I like.
What do you think is key in a wrestler, as in making a story?
The key is having a creative mind and being open to entertain the fans, because essentially that's what we're doing. That's what it's all about, in fact, is entertaining the fans, whether it be 1 fan, 2 fan, 3 fans, 100 fans, 80,000 fans. We're here to entertain the fans. So it's having that knowledge that when you're in the ring, that you've got to provide a story that the fans can follow.
So you've heard from Phil, his stories of being in the ring and making the promotion grow. Now, hear from 2 people at the heart of CPW. Lee Simmons, a man who has used wrestling as a form of escapism, and Nathan Lewis, who now wrestles as Fifi, a wrestler who represents the LGBT community and also helps train the bright young stars of tomorrow. They talk about their journeys and just how hard and taxing the training to be a wrestler can be.
My name is Lee Simmons. My wrestling name is Leighton Sims. I started wrestling about 2.5 years ago now. I absolutely love it. Being in front of a crowd, being able to get the crowd going, get the crowd up, and whether you're a bad guy, which is a heel, whether you're a heel and you're getting them to hate you, or whether you're a face and getting them to love you, I love everything. Yeah, I started because I was going through a bad time. I was getting into a lot of trouble, and I was going downhill, and I needed something to occupy my mind, and I always loved wrestling. Always loved it. I watched it when I was a kid and never grew out of it like most of my friends did. Yeah, so as soon as I started, it gave me something to focus on, something to put all of my excess energy into, and I think it saved my life, to be honest with you. It's difficult, yeah. I mean, they push you hard. They want you to be your best. It is very difficult at first, but it gets easier. But you try to keep pushing yourself. I've known a lot of people kind of like my character, and I've always heard that the best characters kind of people, either exaggeration of people or an exaggeration of yourself, and so I've just taken a lot of different pieces of a lot of people I know and just put it all into one and made a big caricature of it.
So my name's Nathan Lewis. Been wrestling now at CBW since I started, basically. I started off with a gimmick called Freddy, which was meant to be like kind of creepy persona, but it wasn't working out, so I now do the lovable Fifi, which is me wrestling in drag. Wear a lot of pink, a lot of wigs, representing the LGBT community. So yeah, that's obviously what I do here at CBW. So I come down here 2-3 times a week sometimes, training myself, helping teach other people, as well as getting involved in the other training sessions that they have here as well. Training is important. Even the guys at the top never stop training, in my opinion. They're always in the gym. They'll always keep on top of what they're doing. Go sometimes practice the fundamentals, because it's all about being safe in the ring, keeping your body safe, keeping your body healthy. You know, training's hard work. It's non-stop. You know, we take bumps every day. Puts a toll on your body, so you got to stretch out, you got to keep fit, you got to be in the gym or do some kind of weight training just to keep your muscles strong, because at the end of the day your body's important for not just wrestling but also in life. So to train to be a pro wrestler, it starts off with, you know, learning the basics, learning the fundamentals of how to be a pro wrestler, how to do pro wrestling, how to be safe in the ring, and then it develops. You know, that's when you start learning your moves and you move together. Psychology, which is one of the most important things in my opinion in wrestling, how to tell a story, get the fans invested, because the fans are the most important thing in the end of the day. They're the ones that pay the money to come watch you, so you've got to train to be able to tell a story and put on a show for those guys and girls that come and watch the wrestling on the Saturday night. So obviously myself, I started training here, and, you know, I started learning how to take a basic bump, back bump, front bump. So I started learning the basics, then learning basic moves, the technical side of wrestling, locking up, collar and elbow, into wrist locks, hammer locks, and then it develops from there. You know, learning to run those ropes and move your body around the ring and sell, and which another thing that's important in wrestling is selling, which could obviously we get hit in wrestling. People think it's fake, we don't get touched at all, but, you know, we do get hit, we hit each other and there's contact, but at the same time you've got to let people know how that hurts, and so you've got to, you know, be able to act and sell the moves as well. So training for me starts off with, you know, when I come down on my own, it's practicing new things or trying out things that I'm interested in trying, because you're not always going to be able to do everything first time perfectly, so you make mistakes. Apart from that, it's keeping fit. I come down here, do fitness training, do some weight training, keep myself healthy as always. But yeah, wrestling training basically for me is, you know, in that ring, practicing moves. And the same when I come to teaching, you know, that really helps with development. You know, once you start teaching other people and showing people, you actually work out things that you do slightly differently or slightly wrong, and it's about improving yourself at all times. Because end of the day, to be at the top in this industry, you've got to keep on training. You've got to keep yourself fresh, and you've got to keep trying new things. And that's what I do here, is in trying to innovate myself and elevate myself every time I get in the ring.
So how long did it take you to develop your character?
Fifi's still in development, really. Like, I'm always learning with Fifi, trying to move things with Fifi, trying to do new things with Fifi. To actually do the character, like, I come from a performing arts background anyway, so performing comes naturally to me. But I'm like that in real life. I'm quite camp as a person, and I'm really energetic. So it's basically me in the ring, but times 100.
Finally, I wanted to know what it'd be like to talk to a wrestling character. Corey is heavily autistic and joined CPW with little to no confidence. When I sat down with him, he chose to speak as Morris, his wrestling persona, to talk about his experience in the business, where he wants to go, and how wrestling has helped his confidence.
Well, my name's Morris, and I'm the MBO Warrior. When I first started, I was a butler. A guy called Windsor. It was horrible. It was a muppet. Been with him 2 years, then I snapped. Became the biker that I am now. See, after time, things change. I used to be calm, cool, collected, do what I was told. Not anymore. I listen to what I do. I had a fight with him. He beat me somehow. But like I say, I am your Godiva champion for CPW. And I will always be the MBO Warrior. I want to keep wrestling as long as I can. Because I love this sport. It's changed me, it's made my confidence grow. And I'd love to wrestle forever, but obviously, I know careers don't last forever, but I will wrestle until I cannot wrestle anymore. Well, my aim is to become the natural born outlaw of WWE and hold the WWE Championship. Because my name's Morris, and I'm the NBO Warrior.
So, there you have it. You've had a look at what goes into a wrestling promotion, and you've heard from the men themselves about how hard it is to be a professional wrestler. I guess there's only one more thing to do, and that's to do it myself. I got to get in the ring with Corey to take a body slam and to see how tough wrestling really is.
So essentially, this is how to take a body slam. I've never taken one before. This is Corey from CPW, so he's just gonna. So where should I start? So what are those? Yeah. So hand there. Yeah, jump.
Jump, keep your legs straight. Keep your legs straight, mate. Okay. Legs straight, legs straight.
Straight?
Straighten your legs out.
Lift them up into the air.
Lift your legs, straighten them. You probably should took a couple of steps back, Corey.
They're still alive, so
You are?
it's all good.